science class. You all know you are learning chapter number 15, Air Around Us, of your NCERT science textbook. I hope you all are following the chapter very well. Now, today we will study some more interesting facts about air and components of air. Let's have a quick revision of review of the chapter about what we learnt till now. We understood the concept that air is present everywhere around us. Today, we will learn the elements or components which are present in the air. So, let's begin with this. First, children will study about what is atmosphere. Our earth is surrounded by a layer of thin air, which is called as atmosphere. Atmosphere extends up to many kilometers above the surface of earth. Atmosphere is essential for life on the earth. This is because the air in the atmosphere provides oxygen for breathing to all living organisms. As we go higher and higher in the atmosphere, the amount of air becomes lesser and lesser. The air at the top of very high mountains is so thin that it does not have enough oxygen for the people to breathe properly over there. Hence, mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them so that they can breathe in oxygen from these cylinders, as in the mountains there is less air, and less air, that means less oxygen is there at higher mountains. Now children, next we'll study about composition of air. We all know that air is a mixture of different gases. It is mainly a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen with the small amount of carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust particles and other gases. The composition of air in the percentage terms is nitrogen is 78%, oxygen is 21%, and children, carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust particle and other gases together they form 1%. Here children, I have shown you the diagram of composition of air. Now let us study each components of air in detail. First we'll study about nitrogen. And what is nitrogen children? Nitrogen is colorless, odorless. Odor means it does not have smell, and tasteless gas. Nitrogen is highly soluble in water. Nitrogen is not essential for breathing. It does not help in burning, and even it does not support the combustion. Combustion means burning. Nitrogen is an inert gas or unreactive gas. Unreactive gas means it does not react with other elements. In this respect, nitrogen is opposite to the oxygen, which is very, or we can say that highly reactive gas. All living things need nitrogen compounds for their growth. Plants use nitrogen gas from air to make proteins, which are used by the plants for their own growth as well as the growth of other animals and human beings, those who consume them. Now next children, this is all about nitrogen gas. Now we will study about the next component of air, which is oxygen. Children, as you all know that you all know importance of oxygen in our life. So first we will study about the characteristics of oxygen. Oxygen is a colorless, odorless. Odor means it does not have any kind of smell, and tasteless gas. Oxygen gas is highly soluble in water. Oxygen is essential for breathing. We can live without food and water for many days, but without oxygen, we will die very quickly. Oxygen gas does not burn itself, but it allows other things to burn in the presence of oxygen gas. Thus, it supports combustion. Combustion, children, burning of any thing, and is essential for the process of burning of fuels like wood, kerosene, petrol, etc. Now, children, let's study about the importance of oxygen in our life. Oxygen is very necessary for all living things. Oxygen is necessary for all living things, and even or for all living organisms. Yes, all living organisms breathe oxygen from the air to remain alive. Oxygen helps to sustain life on the earth. During breathing, or we can call respiration, oxygen breaks down food. Oxygen breaks down the food to give out carbon dioxide, water, and energy. This energy sustains the life of all the plants and the animals. The animals and the plants living on the land takes oxygen from the air around them. But animals and the plants living in water takes oxygen from the air dissolved in the water. Under ordinary conditions, we use air around us for breathing purpose. But under some special conditions, we use oxygen gas cylinders are used, or we can say that oxygen gas cylinders are used for breathing purpose for some special condition. And these such special conditions are, first is a patient suffering from disease like asthma have sometimes difficulty in breathing properly. Similarly, a patient undergoing a major surgical operation also has a difficulty in breathing properly. So, all the hospitals have cylinders filled with oxygen gas for such patients. Then second special condition where we use oxygen cylinder is the mountaineers. They carry oxygen gas cylinders with them while climbing high mountains. At high altitude, the air is very thin and contains very less oxygen, due to which it becomes difficult for them to breathe properly. The mountaineers use oxygen gas contained in the cylinders for breathing properly under the conditions of high altitude. Then the third situation or condition where oxygen cylinders are used is when the sea divers go deep into the sea water. They carry oxygen gas cylinders with them. This oxygen is used by the divers for breathing while they are underwater. This is because there is no free oxygen in seawater which can be used by the divers for breathing. There is a little amount of dissolved oxygen in seawater. However, it cannot be used for breathing by human beings. And only fishes and aquatic animals can use this dissolved oxygen. That's why the divers, they carry oxygen cylinders along with them. Now children, next next important characteristic of oxygen we are going to study is oxygen is necessary for combustion. What is combustion, children? The process of burning of a substance is called as combustion. Combustion means burning of that substance. So oxygen is necessary for the burning of a substance. The substance which are burning need a supply of fresh air all the time, as it is rich in oxygen. When we burn a candle, a paper, coal, wood, cooking gas, oxygen is needed. This oxygen comes from the air around us, and for burning these substances continuously supply of oxygen is required, and this supply is done by the air which is present nearby. If, however, we cut off the supply of air, the substance will not burn anymore due to the lack of oxygen. So children, if a burning coal is covered with a vessel, it stops burning after some time. This happens because the burning coal which was getting oxygen from the air is cut off due to the covering. Similarly, if a burning candle is covered with a glass of jar, it will extinguish after some time, again due to the oxygen supply cut off. We will perform this activity that shows the presence of oxygen in the air. We will perform this activity in our next live session. Children, here it will be it is a common practice that if the clothes of a person catches fire, a woolen blanket is put around the burning clothes to extinguish fire. Here also, a blanket cover will cut off the supply of oxygen from air to the burning clothes and the fire is extinguished. Thus, we can say that oxygen is necessary for the combustion to take place. Now, children, the remaining components of air, that means carbon dioxide, water vapor, dust particles, and other gases, we will study or we will continue the remaining portion in the next live session. Goodbye, children. Thank you.